All right. It was fun. Okay, this is the last one. Thank you so much for staying. It's a privilege to be in community here with my dear friends and also with the faculty and all of you guys. This presentation is in solidarity with the people that now is walking up the continent, up to the north, to the border, and to my father who couldn't make it today. Let's speak about symbols. Symbols are everywhere. They help us to navigate to access to different services, but also shape the way we move to the city. They help us to walk through the city, but also to cross the streets and to navigate the subway, if anybody knows how to actually navigate the subway. Symbols shape the way we communicate, but also organize our culture. But symbols could go beyond images, things like music, flags, dances, and ways of express identity. Symbols are important for communities because they create a strong sense of belonging among the members of the group. I grew up looking into this fence that in my community is a symbol of separation. I'm from the north of Mexico, from Baja, a place known as the borderlands, which is not only the northern part of Mexico, but also the southern part of the United States. And it's always been interesting for me how people, despite being divided by a fence, gather and keep connections with language even when they have a different migration status or even passports. And in fall 2003, I invited my community in both sides of the border to gather in order to discover the things that we have in common, the things that we share, define our symbols, and also the culture that we share, and overall being community. What emerged from that conversation is a set of symbols that we program into a digital font and that people use to share their experiences of living in the border. But overall, it was a pretext to have a conversation across the border, but also to discover the things that can grow in the border. I speak about our families. I speak about the time that we wait when we are waiting to cross the border in both sides, how we keep communicating together, and also acknowledge that people arrive to the border and also that people is dreaming with the border, or simply just to say, hello, we are here. But also this was an opportunity for people to make questions and to express things like, it's been a while since the last time that I saw my family in the other side. Or how do you celebrate Christmas on the other side? Or do you believe in the American dream? But overall, having this outcome very visual, it was an opportunity for people to create these different designs that were basically explaining how their experiences in the borderlands can be communicated, taking advantage of the power of the symbols to communicate beyond language. But also, during the workshops, people were confident enough to share things like, I want to know how does it feels to belong to just one place. I want to know how does it feels to be 100% American. How does it feel to be 100% Mexican? So overall, I think it's about belonging. Belonging is knowing that you're among people that has your same lived experiences, but also share your same values, goals, and symbols. And strong communities thrive in system, but also strong communities that has strong sense of belonging thrive better. I want to introduce Estamos Hablando. We are speaking a guide for communities to meet, talk, and thrive, where in the first step, communities gather towards a circle where they can discover their values, their goals, and their experiences. From that conversation, they will create a list of words, a dictionary of lived experiences. From the words in the dictionary, community will create a set of symbols, and then they will use those symbols to create different designs in order to communicate outside the group. And across all these gatherings, there are some capacities that can be reinforced in order to build capacity in the community, like facilitation skills, but also public speaking and advocacy. Everything to meet, talk, and thrive. During the summer of 2004, I was invited to a school, a school in La Guardia Community College, part of International High School Network. in order to test compa with their students to test the system. Their teachers who are here, Amy and Gabby, thought that it might be helpful for the students to test the system in order to explore their identity as newcomer immigrants in the city. And when they were testing the system in the form of font, we saw that they were using some symbols that were not originally in the system. And we saw that as a possibility to expand the guide or to adapt the guide with them in order to create a new set of symbols. Students from this community are one of the most vulnerable groups today in the city, having experiences that directly impact their learning, but also knowing that the school environment will be the place where they will create learning, but also create an identity and experiences. Based on the conversation, they define a first dictionary that you can see some of the words highlighted. And from the words, they decided some symbols. And when they were designing the symbols, we keep asking them to go conceptual. For example, this one about America, but also about the dream. So one of the students said that the dream was about the bubble and the star was the prize in the center, speaking about the American dream. So the result of that was a set of symbols that you can see on the screen, but also F is for family, Go is for going to college, P is for possibility, L is for liberty, and A is for American dream. And thanks that we were able to program a font and that we share with the teachers that install in the computers of the schools, the students were able to create different flags merging or combining different colors and experiences from their countries. So you can see there, like one is from Colombia, Mexico, and Ecuador. And then they decided to create different pins, like the one that I'm showing now, with the stamps, with the symbols in the form of the stamps that they decided to give to their classrooms outside of in the school. So by holding this space for the community to meet, they were discovering their values, their goals, and their symbols. They were creating a list of words that represents their experiences. They were creating a font, a visual code, and then from the font, they will create different designs in order to share with different groups outside and inside the group. So for one side, they will building community, but in the other side, they will building capacity, learning things like visual design, but also speaking and advocacy. And hopefully, they will use this kind of designs like this pin button to deliver to their friends and other teachers and students in order to do the same or to create different new symbols and systems. And during the intervention, I keep using this diagram to speak to the kids to prompt them about their goals. So most of them says that they have a shared goal of buying a house or having a house. So I will ask them, what do you need to have a house? So they will say, we need money. So I will use this symbol about money. And they will, I will ask them, what do you need to have money? And they will say, we need to go to college. We need to have possibility. We need to have liberty. And overall, they need to have an identity. And this is the symbol for the letter I, which means ID. And this is the school ID that they designed. So overall, it was the idea of using this kind of language to make them feel sure that they are already on the path of having their home, but also having a stable life that we all deserve. So in order to trying to expand this guide on different communities, I believe that using this kind of method with other communities in the city, but also beyond, could be a way to unlock the power of different communities in order to thrive in systems. And speaking about symbols again, this was the symbol that one of the students from LaGuardia created. And it's about symbols, it's from respect. And it was very interesting because when I arrived to New York City two years ago, I noticed that the city is grounded in these values. So I just want to leave this symbol here. Thank you so much.